Okay, now this is the fourth time I've been trying to record this. I got a phone call, so I don't, but that doesn't matter. So if you hear wind in the background, it's because I'm recording outside. Um, and I'm just doing this on my phone with my AirPods on. See what I can do with that. So today's book is The Bride of Demise. It's one of the very few light novels that I thought was really good, because light novels, they're not hit or miss. Like, it's not hit or miss. It could be like middle, like okay, in the middle. But this one was a hit, and this is the book that made me want to do this video. So I really liked it. Was it a fresh take on everything? No, but it doesn't need to be. Uh, I like the characters. I like the premise, and I like the story. That's why I'm making this. Um, so first, we'll just go into the synopsis of the story. I did this before, and we'll see if I could do a better job. So it's a story about Cole Kagura. Uh, I'll tell you the most important part. Cole Kagura, he ends up like on the verge of death by the Keihei, and the Keihei are the mechanical monsters basically that terrorize the humans, and they don't know why. So, pretty sure other volumes will go into that. And then when on the verge of death, he meets the white princess, which then saves his life, and that is where the story goes on. Out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it a 9 if it wasn't for like a little bit of a slow beginning, or maybe because it was just a little slow beginning, it could probably go up to a 9. So with that synopsis, I know it wasn't a very good one. I'm not very good at these, but we'll just go into the story, and maybe I could, you know, buy you into the story, because it's a very good story. The Bride of Demise by Keiichi Ayasato. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that. Volume 1. We're only talking about Volume 1 right now, because that's the only one I read, and the only one I have right now. So the beginning, he wakes up basically, or I'll skip the prologue. You can read the prologue later, but at the beginning, when we first start the story, after the prologue, he wakes up from this dream that's made him cry, or that he sheds a tear from the dream. And his friend, I do not know her name because she does not show up other than the beginning part, basically. His friend wakes him up, basically, or not really wakes him up, but is there when he wakes up. And then Cole is astonished that he has cried, because he does not remember the last time he's cried, and he cannot remember anything from his childhood, basically. All that he can remember is that his parents died by the government that governs his area, or this place that he lives in, and that's all he can remember. So he's surprised that he could cry, or that he cried, and it just basically shows that he's an outcast. I don't know. So this is where like, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't read it right, but he's supposed to be an outcast, but they only show like one time where he's like bullied and stuff like that. So like, you can't really see that he's an outcast, just like a bullied child. But whatever. Because Cole starts as Cole, and then he ends as Cole still. So it doesn't, his change, there's not really a change for him, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because at the moment he doesn't really need a change. But anyway, so they go into these departments. There's departments for the academy that they're in. Sorry if you heard that. And the academies are combat, research, and exploring, I believe. And they use those for the Keihei, which attack the humans. The combat, they combat the Keihei. The research do research into the Keihei, and the explorers, they explore the caves that the Keihei reside in. And Cole ends up going into, I actually can't remember. I think he goes into the research or the explorers. I know this is bad. I don't really remember most of it, but No, I do remember most of it, but not that part because it's at the beginning. So he goes with his friends, and he also has another friend, but that friend also doesn't appear after the beginning. So we don't have to worry about that for right now. So he has two friends. They only appear at the beginning before he dies. Um, spoiler. Sorry, I think I did that in the other take, but it's just so jump it up or whatever. Um, yeah. So they go and explore, and they find Keihei. And there's the special type K, which are the strongest, or the humanoid K, which are the strongest. The special type, the A type, the B type, and the C type. I think that's how it goes. There's 5 different types, and they run into a special type K. His friend, the whole exploration department, and they're all gonna die. But then Cole sacrifices himself and distracts the K. And he's getting beat down by the cave, and he runs into the cave. He keeps running to the cave, and when he's about to die, there he meets the girl, White Princess, aka White Curtain. That's her alias. And then they make a vow, as the book says, a vow that cannot be broken. And basically, they become groom and wife, groom and bride. That's what they use as the names for what the process is between the Keihei, and basically a marriage between the human and a Keihei, because that happens to other people, of course. And then he's brought back to life, basically. It's weird. I don't think he actually dies. He's on the verge of death, but I don't think he actually dies. But so, sorry. Let me find the way. Just give me 1 second. There we go. I'm almost there. I want to show you the way he describes the White Princess, because it's kind of important for another time when someone else joins in. And I think I found that. I think it helps. I think it helps with finding a major plot point into the story, but I can't find it. Oh no, this is bad. Maybe I should have looked for it before I started this, but I already started it. It's 7 minutes ahead. So he describes this girl, the White Princess, in the same way. Like, he describes her multiple times, and always the same way. Damn it. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Well, anyway, he describes the girl as, he always says, her hair as white as the snow, her eyes as blue as the sky, and something like that, along that line. And I believe he only describes her like that, and that's going to become, I believe, important once we get onto further into the story. So he meets the White Princess. All that tangent just to go back to dismissing it somewhere else, but it'll come back. So he meets the White Princess, and then he ends up in this. He's knocked out because he was on the verge of death, and he wakes up in this white room where he's being questioned by the academy that he was in. And then that's where he meets. He's not important to the story until the later parts, but he's quite important. Oh, have you been saying Kaguro instead of Kagura? Oh, whatever. Well, okay, so Ko Kaguro meets Kagura. And I don't know if this is important, but I'll describe, but his facial features or his appearance is white hair with scars over his face. So we'll see if that's important. I don't know if I'll put that in another plot point somewhere, but he beats Kagura, and he's basically like a Gojo. He's powerful. He's this all-powerful guy. And he basically questions if he can take care of his white princess, the Kei. And he basically just joins the secret organization. It's not really an organization, or kind of it is, but it's a secret class. What was it, class 100 or class 99? I don't remember. But he basically asks if he wants to join this wind, but the secret class of all the people who've made vows or has married a Kei, bride and groom. And he decides to join it because otherwise he would have been killed. He joins, and then that's where he joins Pandemonium. I don't know if there's a meaning behind that name. I do not know. Did not research it. It's just my thoughts. This is just my thoughts reading it the first time. Because most people are just going to read it the first time, and, if they really like it, which I really did like it, so I'll give it a read some other time. I just got other books to read, but he joins Pandemonium, and that's where he meets the people that you'll be with for the rest of the story. It doesn't take that long to get to that point, and it's a fairly enjoyable read to get to that part, so I like that. So he joins Pandemonium, and he meets everyone there who has bride and groom. And later on in the story, they tell you there's like 24, 25 people in it. Sorry about that. And this wind. 25 people that are in the Pandemonium, but you won't meet most of them basically until like the final part. And that's where like the best characters join. They're really enjoyable characters, and he does a nice job of actually fleshing out the characters and then getting to like them, which I really liked, because I really like the characters. And my favorite characters, of course, are Hikami and Mireille, which are his upperclassmen of the Pandemonium. So the people you meet at the beginning are, well, not at the beginning, but once he joins, are Kagura, which is the teacher, basically the Gojo. You meet, wait, there's a little page right here, I can see all the names. You meet Hikami, Mireille, Tsubaki, and Yaguruma. Yeah, between all those, it's Hikami and Mireille that are my favorite. Tsubaki, I mean, she's there and all, but not really. And Yaguruma, he's there too, but not really as well. Then you also meet Sasanoe. The designs, before anything, designs are super cool in this story, so. Because you get a page of all the characters, a colored page of all the characters and their names and their Keihei. I won't go into the other people's Keihei as much because, if you want to read, you could go ahead and read it, but I won't go as much because I don't think there's a need to, not just yet. Well, actually, maybe there is. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. So Hikami has Unknown. It's like a snake type Keihei. And it's more for like reconnaissance, I believe, if I remember. And then Mireille has a Keihei. It's a humanoid and like an Iron Maiden type trap, and he's all chained up. And it's a humanoid, so it's quite powerful. And then Tsubaki, he just has a big golem, and I'm gonna refer to him as the guy with the scarf. I don't remember his name, but Rui, I think that's his first name. He has a mechanical fired up horse. It's super cool. I like it. But those are the Keihei. And then this is where we're going into the White Princess and the Crimson Princess with Sasanoe and Cole. The there's a special line of Keihei called the Princess series, and there's like 7 of them, but the White Princess was the unidentified 7. So there was 6, and now there's 7 because White Princess has been found. In the story, I think they say the White Princess is the most powerful of the Princess series. So, yeah. Sasunoe and Crimson Princess, they're just there to be cool and the powerful like guy, but they kind of get taught a lesson after, but we'll get into that soon, or maybe right now actually, because they're all right there, they're hanging out. He gets to know them, and Hikami talks about how his squad was almost dead, and he was on the verge of death, and that's when he met Unknown. So, well, it was really bad, but the art is, I really like the art in this. I know I switched up, but I'm looking through the pages to see if I can remember anything that's important, or if I'm leaving anything out, but the art is really good. I really like hopefully, I would have wished some pages got art, but light novels are limited because it's a light novel, so it doesn't matter as much. So they're all friends now. Like they do the mandatory see what he's made of, and they fight, but then in the end, like, no one hates him. They're all friends, and then they go on an exploration. The main characters are Murray, Hikami, Tsubaki, Rui, and later on Sasunoe. But for right now, it's... oh my, I don't remember. Okay, but Sasunoe comes later. So those people go on a recovery to go find this missing exploration team, and they find out they're killed. Well, I don't remember. Sorry, this is... Sasunoe might be there. I don't remember. And they end up... they go into the cave, and the exploration team is dead. And they end up... running into like a horde of Keihei, and the fact that there's a horde surprises them due to the Keihei not really they don't group up because they're just mechanical beings. They usually fight themselves, so which is surprising them because they're all grouped together. And then they're fighting. Everyone's taking out their stuff. You see a whole bunch of... you see Tsubaki, you see Hikami, and you see Murray, you see Rui take out others, use their Keihei. And the fights are actually quite enjoyable. I mean, I know, like, for new to light novels, you might not see the point of a fight just reading it, but that's, like, you're supposed to just kind of, like, make it up in your mind. But he does a good job of, like, describing the fight and helping you visualize through the fight. So they fight, and then that's where she appears, the main antagonist of the story. She has a very cool design. Let's see if I can find the design, because it's quite important that I remember how she looks like. Okay, now I have it visualized. No, actually I don't. Oh no, it's embarrassing again. Let's see if I can find it real quick, because this part is also, like, I already mentioned this part, so that's why I need to remember how she's described. Like, okay, chapter 7, Queen of the Keihei, 127. Oh yeah, by the way, this book has like 264 pages. It's a good read, and I feel like I'll talk about it later. Is Sasanoe here? Oh yeah, I'm assuming Sasanoe is in this part right here. Okay, so like it's just doing. So with this video, I'm just telling you my thoughts. So like, a lot of the plot points, some plot points are being missed. It's just what I can remember and what I thought was quite the intriguing that I found. But let's see. What the heck? Come on. Oh my god. I can't find the part whatsoever. Wait, maybe I found it. Oh god. Well, anyway, okay, so the main antagonist shows up, and it's the Millennium Black Princess. So it's another. They actually never say that she's part of the series, so it helps you, like, that's also something else that you could say. No one ever says that she's part of the Princess series, but I guess you could just assume she is. When does he... Okay, so he refers... When describing the Black Princess, I believe he says her skin is as white as snow. Oh my god. Okay, well, whatever. Her skin is as white as snow, and her, like, hair is as dark as something. I can't remember. I don't really want to say anything right now, but I guess he describes the Black Princess the same way he describes the White Princess, but he never does that to anyone else. So if you want to connect the dots right now, you can connect the dots, but I'll say why he describes to her like that later on. So Sasanoe is supposed to be like, he's destroying all the Keihei in like a single swing, typical stuff. But once they meet the Black Millennium Princess, he doesn't do anything to her. And all while the Black Millennium Princess is asking Cole to come to her. And this part's weird, like, because later on I'm like, well, why did she do everything? Why did she do the stuff that she did? But, she, like, starts... Cole goes... They don't want Cole to go, but Cole decides to go, and, he brings White Princess with him, and they go, and White Princess can't even touch her as well, the Black Millennium Princess. So Cole gets pinned, and then he starts bleeding, and then he loses his leg, and stuff like that. And wait, I'm jumbling up stuff. So honestly, that's about it. That's about what happens right there. He gets his ass beat, basically, and throughout the story, he not like, it happens twice or three times where he sees, when he's sleeping, the Black Millennium Princess shows up, and while he's sleeping, and he always opens the covers because she always looks sad, so he always opens the covers to invite her to sleep with him and White Princess. But it's just like a projection, so she can't really do that. And he also, whenever he meets the Black Millennium Princess, he gets a headache. And then this is where, like, it starts, like, I start giving clues about what's happening with, Black Millennium Princess. And once the White Princess meets her, she gets scared and stuff like that. And, Cole's, like, concerned because she doesn't really get like that, or she never gets like that. So he was concerned why she was scared of Black Millennium Princess. But this is where it starts, like, getting to the good and juicy part, the parts that I really like. And we're basically just halfway through the book, so it's honestly a good read. So he sings the one night when, okay, that part in the cave is gone. It's done. So one day they're sleeping because they're tired and stuff. So the White Princess and Cole, they start to sleep, and Millennium Princess is like fidgeting and stuff because she's still like spooked by the Millennium Black Princess. And he sings a song that Murray sang to Tsubaki, and it's a song that Murray made up. So he sings it to the White Princess, and then the Black Princess appears again at night, but Cole's still half asleep, so he believes it's like a dream and stuff like that. And then he invites her back to the bed, the Black Millennium Princess, and he continues to sing the song that Murray had made up, and the Black Millennium Princess ends up finishing the rest of the song, and that's when Cole is surprised as she knew the song, even though Murray had made it up. And then after that, nothing happens until the part where, or I believe nothing happens. I don't think anything happens. So Sasanoe gets his, ass beat by the Black Millennium Princess at the cave. Then the Black Millennium Princess shows up again with the song. And then that's when you get introduced to the concept of the glooming. And the glooming is when they say that it happens like every 10 years or so, when a whole bunch of Keihei get together and just attack. And so it's the Academy's job to do to fight off the glooming, because the Academy has like 80% death rate or something. So no, it's a 60% death rate. My bad. So the glooming happens, and then it's going to happen. So they have to be prepared. And since no one knows of the existence of the Pandemonium class, they fight in the front lines all by themselves. So when the glooming happens, they fight off, and it's basically guaranteed that they die. So the glooming is the final climactic showdown of the story. And so this is where it gets really good. And so everyone's trading for the glooming. Everyone is no one's no one seems that they're afraid to die, not even Cole himself. Everyone knows, or everyone has the idea that they're gonna die, but that's just what happens in their world, that the glooming causes casualties. So everyone's just training, and it's the day of the glooming. And these are the last few chapters, are the day of the glooming. Maybe I should have brushed this off, but it's very important, actually. I almost missed something before the day of the glooming. Actually, the day before the day of the glooming, White Princess calls Cole to come to the cave that they had first met, and she's gonna go tell him like the real thing about her, the reason she was made and stuff like that. And they go to the cave, and she tells him that she was made to end all wars. Or not end all wars. Well, people believe she was there to be made to end all wars, but the actual thing was to end all of humanity. And she thinks that Cole would dislike her if he found out that she was the end of humanity. But he doesn't, and that's where he says his love to her. So that's a major plot point for something that happens at the end. I like that there's plot points that he puts, and they're never discarded. They come back. Most of the plot points that are in are concluded at the end. So you have a plot point that maybe happened. Well, actually, I don't think there's any plot points that happen at the beginning, but sorry, I got thirsty. 30-minute video. So anyway, yeah, the plot points that happen, you know, they're concluded. And so the glooming happens after Cole finding out that the White Princess is the end of humanity if you were to get her full power. And this is where it's introduced the concept of devouring your groom or bride. So grooms are the humans that are the humans, and the brides are the Keihei, regardless of gender. And this is where Kagura, the Gojo type figure, introduces the concept of devouring, where the Keihei can either devour the bride, no, the groom. Sorry, my bad. The groom to gain more power, or vice versa. The groom could devour the bride, and it's said that Kagura has devoured 2 brides, 2 Keihei, and Cole notices that no one else is really surprised by that, so everyone knows already. And then the final battle happens, where all the Pandemonium members, all 25, but you're only introduced to like 5 of them. And it's expected that basically everyone dies, but so all the Keihei are going, everything seems fine. Sasunoe is being Sasunoe, he's killing all the Keihei. The front lines are divided from Phantom rank, which is the highest, Demon rank, which is the second, and then the back. So the higher ranks are in the front and the lower ranks are in the back, which are mostly the support types. And then Cole seems to be like, the White Princess is also helping, and Cole and Hikami are in the background. But then when he sees that people are getting tired, Cole goes to the front line and starts, attacking the Keihei. So since Hikami is a scout, he senses something flying Murray's way and throws Murray out of the way and is stabbed with one of Black Millennium Princess's weapons. And then Hikami's on the verge, well, he's not really on the verge of death, but he's injured, and they have a playful banter that they've been having throughout the whole book, and it's quite nice that that playful banter still continues, and it's like they have a good relationship of friends, not lovers, friends, Hikami and Murray. And so he is stabbed by the Black Millennium Princess, and that announces her arrival. And this is where it gets to the climax of the story, where the Black Princess, he's talking with the Black Princess, Cole is, and I'll skip a whole bunch of stuff because I kind of don't remember what happens in between that, but he figures out that the Black Millennium Princess is the White Princess. And there's clues, like the way like what I said, what I tried to establish, maybe didn't do a good job, but what I tried to establish was he describes the White Princess the same way as he describes the Black Princess. And once you read that, you see that he does that, and maybe now you know. I'm pretty sure there's other ways, but I just can't remember at the top of my head. This is like, I read this last night. It took me a couple days to finish, and I just finished last night. So it's kind of hard to remember, but so then she didn't want him to find out that she was White Princess. So, and then she reveals why the glooming happens. And the glooming happens because when a queen or a king Keihei gather enough magic, he goes on a rampage and then collects all the Keihei and attacks. and the one that the Keihei that starts the glooming, the king or the queen, they end up dying because of all the magic they gather. I believe so. And then the white princess was the queen, so she gathered all that she's gathered all that magic, and she's trying to contain it, but she can't contain it no longer. And that's where she reveals what had actually happened. And I don't think in the story he ever hints at it, but this is where something new gets introduced into the story, where he introduces time traveling. And I mean, he doesn't go too much into it, because if he did, it would probably kind of mess up the story and have plot holes. But you have plot holes whenever you introduce time traveling. So it's something that's a given, because it's a concept that's hard to comprehend. So he introduces time traveling, where the white princess, the Black Millennium Princess, saw that vow to Cole was kind of like a curse, because she was devoted to him. So when Cole died in another timeline, or in the future, where Cole died in the glooming, she couldn't handle that, so she went back in time and tried to save Cole. But no matter how many times she went back in time, Cole would always die. And it wasn't just Cole dying in the glooming, it was Cole dying because of the government, because the white princess wanted him to escape the glooming and stuff like that. He would always die. So every time she went back in time and Cole kept dying, she would always absorb the power, the magic of the people that were dead or something. And that's where she was collecting a lot of magic, which then changed her from the white princess to the black princess. And then this is also where I believe was also another point where you could tell where they never referred to her as a new series. So that's also another point where you could say that he gives you clues on her real identity. She's never introduced as never mind. No, they think that she's like the once broken 5th series, I think, but they never actually say that she is. So anyway, so so every time she travels back in time, she collects the mass energy, and that's where I guess she gets the idea that she would become the queen of the Keihei to help him survive the glooming. But now that he's found out that she used to be the white princess, she goes berserk and kills all of the Pandemonium members. And so Mireille, Tsubaki, Sasanoe, the Crimson Princess, and Hikami, I think I forgot him, they all die. All 25 members die. And as Cole is about to be killed as well, White Princess comes in his way and is also killed. So as the White Princess is dying, as the Black Princess saw the vow as a curse as well, the White Princess, the actual White Princess, gives him a little curse, saying that no matter what, do not die in the glooming. And so while she's dying, she says, "Cole, can you please devour me?" And he does. Takes a bite out of her neck, and that's where he gets the power to travel back in time. But the thing is, he can't travel back in time like the White Princess, the Black Millennium Princess did, with her physical body and all of that. He can only go back in time through his mind. So no matter, so he tried to make it where the glooming, everyone would survive, both the white princess and the black princess would survive. Everyone survives, but he can't do that because he can't get any more powerful, or he can't do anything because no matter what, the only thing that went in time was his mind. So what he did was that he tried to find as much information as he can about the black princess, the Keihei. He would go into like the government's library and get information that was classified, and he would get killed for it. But he would then travel back in time before that happened, and he went to other timelines, something like that. And that's where I was like, what? I was blown away. I was like, that's like I was kind of blown away because that kind of came out of nowhere. I think that came out of nowhere. I didn't really read a part where I would have thought time travel would have been in the story, but so then throughout the you're reading the story, and then he travels back in time for the first time. I kind of skipped over stuff, but let's go back a little bit. And so he goes back in time where he wakes up, and it's like the first chapter. Everything happens again. He describes the girl at the beginning. He ends up crying, and then that's where it dawns on you that the bad dream he had was everything that had already happened throughout the story. So the reason he cried was because of the glooming that just happened. So it was a moment that blew me away, and I really like that. I don't think a light novel has done that to me just yet, where like something in the plot happens and it's blown me away. So I really like that. It's like AOT, where actually it's exactly like Attack on Titan. Oh, the reason Eren cries at the beginning of the whole story was because of what he saw at the end of the story. That's kind of what happens. Cole cries because of what happens at the end of the story, or he cries at the beginning of the story because of what happens at the end of the story. And so now you're just going through like different parts of the story, and but nothing, like he can't change anything. And then he runs into Hikami, and Cole figures out that he's in a timeline, or he's in a future or past, I don't know how to describe it, where he never made friends with Hikami, Tsubaki, or Mirai. But Hikami being Hikami, he still talks to Cole, and that's where he finds out that Hikami's backstory. And it's just this typical where he almost died, and the only reason he was saved was because of his K. But that's it's basically like a motivation for Cole to keep trying, but then that doesn't really help because like in the story it says that he's tried 14,000. Oh, sorry. Damn, this wind. I really hate it. Maybe I'll record at like a different location next time, but I didn't really have any choice right now. Where it tells you in the story that he's traveled back in time 14,999 times, and nothing has changed. The black princess and the white princess always end up the same. And that's where he appears in this white room, the same white room that he ends up in after finding the white princess for the first time. It's the same white room at the academy where he first meets Kagura. And this is where another bombshell happens. This one isn't as hinted at, I believe. I don't think this one was as hinted at as the white princess one, but this was a bombshell nonetheless. You find out that Kagura is actually a future self of Cole. And when I thought about it, I was like, they kind of do like the same. When you look at the picture, they're right next to each other. Like let me see if I could actually like show you, because I have the book with me right now. Okay, right there. They're right next to each other. And They have similar last names too, Kagura and Kaguro. I might have been mixing them up this entire time, but yeah. So that's the bombshell that gets thrown, where he's the future self in a world where he couldn't find the solution. So the solution, a safe solution. So he did a different solution where he devoured both the white princess and the black princess. But he didn't want that for Cole, or he didn't want that for himself. So he told Cole that there's either you give up or you do it one more time. And that the thing that was like that Kagura didn't have that Cole has was the power to time travel. So and throughout the story it's told that he cannot remember what his childhood was. So this is where another bombshell, kind of, where Kagura tells Cole that there's only one more place that he has not been to, and that was his past. So Kagura makes it so that Cole goes to his past, his parents, and that's where you see that most of that he was experimented on by his parents to make a vessel for the white princess. Not a vessel, but to make it so that the white princess had someone, a supplement, so that the white princess could feed on him. I believe that's what it was. And you see that most of Cole's body most of his organs was taken out for, what was it, bioorganic? I think that's what they refer to as. Basically what the Keihei are made of. So most of his body, most of his organs are made out of Keihei. And then so that the white princess had a supplement to feed on. And then so his parents, I don't know if, like, he doesn't refer to them as bad guys, but I guess experimenting on their own child is a bad thing to do. Oh my god. So they're kind of bad guys, and he ends up writing a letter to them, because they were under the impression that the white princess was the end of all wars, but as was stated beforehand, she's the end of all of humanity. So Cole tells his parents that, and then now, instead of making Cole a supplement to the white princess, he's now a defense mechanism against the white princess. So then he goes forward in time to the moment of the glooming, and he does all his stuff, and then he says that the white princess is the black princess, and she freaks out again, like what happened before. But then, because of Cole's parents and him going back in time, instead of everyone dying, Cole, because of what his parents did to him, is able to consume most of the magic that was in the black princess. And that's basically where the story kind of ends. So it's basically, I thought Kagura would have been like over with in that story, but Kagura's still in the story, so we'll see how they play with that in the other volumes. And so after absorbing all that energy, the glooming is over with, and Cole has now two brides, the black princess and the white princess. And that's basically how the story ends. Everyone's alive. The two friends at the beginning don't show up, so hopefully they show up in the other volume. And that's about it. Like, Kagura tells Cole is that more danger is a lie. So, yeah, that's basically the end. And it's a very good story. Honestly, now that I think about it, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's a very good story. Slow beginning, but it does pick up later on. Very shortly after the beginning. And so It's 264 pages long. The book is quite big, so that's why it's 264 pages. I know smaller books usually have like 300 pages. And I don't have it, I haven't ordered the second volume, so it'll be a while for me to update the Bride of Demise Volume 2. But I'm looking forward to it. If they were to ever make an anime for it, this whole volume would be enough for 12 episodes, which is quite surprising. Because manga's, like, I read manga and it's a very short read. But this will, like, if you had a choice to pick up one book that lasts you, like, a month or something, this book will give you enough. Like, even now, like when I first finished the story, I was like, honestly, like, if there was no second volume, I would be fine, because it was a nice conclusion to a story. But there is a second volume, and I don't know where he goes from here, but hopefully he does not ruin the story. But if he could make a story this good, I am pretty sure he can continue the story. So anyway, that was the Bride of Demise Volume 1. This video was about 50 minutes long, so a lot of pauses and a lot of stutters. Oh, my bad. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Sorry about the wind. I'll try to record in like a different location. So yeah, I would say give this one a read. And if you're new to light novels, then this is a good read still, but you know, like if you don't really like reading just letters, then maybe go with something easier, like reading card in another world with my smartphone, or high school DxD, whatever. Those are actually like stories where they're short, they're small, and they're not as attention grabbing or imagining as much like than you would have to do with the Bride of Demise. But that's just because it's like just a longer book. So if you don't want to start off with a longer book, just pick up one of those two. So that's basically the end of the thoughts or the review, however you want to see it. Where I would go next with the next book I would read right now, after finishing this, I'm currently reading 2 books, one manga and one light novel. One is the Shadow in the Eminence and Elfenlight. I've never seen or read The Shadow of Eminence. I know there are animes going on right now, so hopefully it's a good, enjoyable read. And I've watched Elfenlight, so now I'm reading the manga. I don't know if I'll do a review on that, because I'm missing the 3rd volume. I have the omnibus, something like that. I have 1, 2, and 4, good condition. Thank you, Reddit, for whoever sold that to me. Good condition. I'm just missing 3, so that'll probably be a while until I find it. So yes, probably The Eminence and the Shadow is the next light novel I review. No, not light novel, but book. 1 chapter book, 1 volume book I'll read. I'll review. The next reviews might be in another world with my smartphone or high school DxD. I've read up to volumes 1 through 4 for the smartphone one, and for high school DxD, I've read up to 6, 1 through 6. So those will be probably a little bit longer, maybe shorter, maybe as long as this. Now that the first video is done, I'm a little more comfortable, I would say. So maybe those will go much more smoothly. I'll be more prepared, not look through pages randomly to see, and then like retract some things I said. I'll make sure not to do that. I have no script because I just think that the script would make the video a lot shorter and easier, but I just think my thoughts on it, like at the moment, is just much better. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you for like another video. So have a good one, and see ya.